basically saying it was already true. So let's say we're going to let A be of the same thing. So since A is B, that means I can multiply both sides with the same thing, like any other equation. If I'm going to find A over here, so far so good, right? What's A times A? What's A times A? We don't know what A, that's why it's called A, because we didn't give it a number actually. But you're on the right track when you say 2. What happens when you multiply the same thing twice? Sure, like 5 times 5 is 5, sure. If I said 5 times 5, what's another way of saying it? Well, that's a different operation all the time. 5 times 5 is 5 divided. You're on the right track when you said 2. How many of these numbers do you see? 5 divided, how many? 5. Right. So when you multiply the same thing twice, it's called a square. Same thing here. A times A would be A squared equals B times A is just A squared equals A times B. Now I'm going to take this, subtract B squared. Subtract. But on one side, I have to do 2 others. Subtract B squared here, subtract B squared. So A squared minus E squared equals so A squared minus B squared, I can what's called factor that out. Does that sound familiar? I'm going to factor this out, I'm going to turn it into a multiplication problem. Right now it's a subtraction problem. Turn it into a multiplication. Another way of saying that is A plus B times A minus B. If I multiplied these two things together, it would give me this. I'm not changing the actual value. Over here, do you see how both statements have the B in common? I can factor that out too. Meaning, I'm going to pull it out, and again, turn it into a multiplication problem like I did over here. It's now going to say A like this. So, we see the same thing on both sides. A minus B here. If we're talking algebra, that when you have them, they just cancel. So A minus B cancels, A minus B cancels. This goes away. So we get A plus B equals B. That's what we do. Okay? But earlier we said A and B are the same thing. So, A and B are the same thing, we can use the same letter. We don't have to use different letters anymore. Since B and A are the same thing, we can say A plus A equals A. Since B and A are the same thing. Okay. What's A plus A? That's A times A. We did that before. A times A. Say it again. 2. A plus A is 2. And like we said before, we can have the same thing on both sides like that. When you're multiplying, they just go away. They just cancel out. There's A over here and an A over here, so they would cancel out. So 2 would equal. When you cancel out something, it's like dividing by that same value. So A is being divided by itself. And what happens when you divide a number by itself? 5 divided. It won't be the same thing, no. When you divide a number by the exact same number, what answer do you get? All good. How many times does 5 go into the number? That's 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 5. I gotta ask you, how many times does 5 go into 5? If I take 5 and add it a bunch of times, how many times do I add it to get to 5? Once. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. So A divided by A would be the same thing. It also look at that. 1 and 2 are the same thing. Don't worry, it's not true. This is all the front. I'm faking, I'm lying like I don't know what. Okay, there's a reason why. This stage right here even though I was able to cross those two things out. So technically, I was not able to. The reason why is, like I said before, when you have the same thing on both sides, you're dividing by that value. Okay, so technically, this says A plus B divided by B minus B. But we said A and B are the same things. So technically, these are the same values. So A plus B divided by A minus A. Well, what's A minus A? These are nothing but 0. So A plus B being divided by 0. Well, what happens when you divide by 0? Not nothing. Actually, something does happen. We don't get a numerical answer. It won't be the same thing. What we actually get is a concept called undefined. We actually have no answer to this guy. So to be clear, you're dividing by 0. That's how you get no answer. But if I flip it, if I put 0 divided by 0, that's 0. The difference is 0's on the bottom here, and here 0's on the top. So 0 divided by something is always 0. But something divided by 0 doesn't exist. So technically, I'm fake. Okay? But thank you for participating. You learned something?